Joe, Bama goes into Como, and which I guess I should stop right there. Shout out to the University of Alabama. I didn't think
Bama Blake.
I didn't think those words would ever come out of my mouth, but my niece was on the homecoming court, and I get a text while literally she's walking down. Blake, have you seen this? And I can't hear it, and somebody sends me an Alabama hype video. I'm like, I'm not watching this. So I get into the truck, and I hear it's me. So shout out to the Alabama SID and media team for clipping Ruffino and Joe show and putting us in the hype video. You can use all the Ruffino and Joe show stuff you want.
Especially when Blake says stuff negative about you guys.
No.
Feel free to.
Well, Ty Simpson keeps doing this. I ain't going to say shit negative about him. Seriously. That's damn sure. You know why? Because Alabama goes into Como and beats Missouri. Ty Simpson, another really effective day. Joe, when you recap this game, how did you see it?
Blake, I have to focus on the most important part about this victory. And I think that if you look at Ty Simpson's stat line, it does not say that he was overly dominant. But if you watch this game and then you rewatched the game like I did, you understand why this guy is in the top of the Heisman discussion. He is second on FanDuel at plus 340. And Blake, at this current moment, I think that he should be leading. Only has 200 yards passing. He has a fumble at the beginning of the second half. He is the most well-composed quarterback in all of college football. He has shown multiple times, Blake, multiple times, makes a mistake. Most quarterbacks crumble. Most quarterbacks get in their head. They get timid. Fumbles, bounces back, makes multiple clutch throws on third downs, and then he has that 4th and 8 throw that requires pinpoint precision to convert. Blake, I have been so enamored watching this kid.
Yeah.
Because he has been the definition of what is great about college football. Didn't play for his first few years. He has been around the program for a long time, scratched and clawed, got onto the field now, and he is not looking back. He has been the rallying point when against Florida State. He was the only guy fighting for all 4 quarters, and now everybody is rallying around him. Blake, I think that Ty Simpson, this is another one of his potential Heisman moments. His stats do not scream Heisman, but the way that he plays, and he will have more chances to load up the box score, this kid deserves to be at the top of that conversation.
You know, you watch Missouri and Joe, the Missouri game, and you watch the first drive that Missouri put together.
Yep.
And you're thinking to yourself, not again, DeBoer. Not again on the road. No way. No way. Alabama's going on the road again, and Missouri came out in a scripted drive. I get it. And Kirby Moore and the boys took punches all over you. And I'm like, oh, my God, you're misplaying the football. And Missouri goes out there and scores. Joe, this score was 27-24. I have no idea how I'm going to explain this. I feel like it was more of an ass whipping. I really do. I thought Bama whipped their ass, but then they just continued to do stupid things defensively in their secondary, especially in that second half, that kept Missouri in the game. But, Joe, think about this. The 3 touchdowns that Ty Simpson threw came on 3rd or 4th down. On conversion downs, on 3rd and 4th down, they were 9 of 18. Ty Simpson was 8 for 9 with 3 touchdowns. I said it the last 2 weeks. I'm going to say it again. No quarterback in the country is more prepared and knows this offense and knows their system better than Ty Simpson. He's under pressure a lot against guys. People look at Missouri and say they're not that good against a really damn good defense. Those edge rushers, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. You look at Missouri and you see the logo. That's a damn good defense that went up against Alabama, and he's making critical throw after critical throw when Ryan Williams doesn't even have a reception. Brailsford, the center, has more receptions in this game than Ryan Williams did. And it didn't matter because they continued to find a way. Was their run game great? No. Did Jam Miller get knocked out of the game with a concussion? Yes. They continued to find a way. He continues to find a way. This Alabama team continues to find a way. But, Joe, it's a tale of two quarterbacks here. As good as Ty Simpson played, Bo Prabula played the opposite. He got away with so many turnovers that should have occurred in the first half that did not happen. He went 16 of 28 with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Joe, the truth of the matter is he should have had 4 turnovers completely. It's a vice versa of how both of these guys played. And shout out to Missouri. You played a really hot offense, and defensively, Joe, they got after him. But this is how I would quantify it. Last year's Alabama team goes on the road to Como and goes in that same exact situation and loses. We literally saw him do it last year. But Ty Simpson is playing with inside the system, and I agree with you. I think probably is and should be the Heisman frontrunner right now.
Well, most importantly, I think that also is why we should back Alabama as the most legit threat to win the SEC at the current moment. I think you bring up a really good point. Last year's team, and even the week 1 version of this team that we thought was still residual, still kind of sticking around, would have collapsed. And by the way, one thing that's kind of pissed me off, and you said this, a lot of people are knocking this Missouri team. I don't get that's a great team. Their defense plays fast and physical up front. Ahmad Hardy got bottled up, and he's one of the leading rushers. He might even still be the leading rusher in college football. Blake,
they ran the football great.
Yeah.
They ran the ball for 163 yards on 28 carries. I mean, they're not bad.
No, there's a good Missouri team. And I think that's another spot that we can look at this Alabama squad where they improved. We talked about this coming into the game, that before Georgia and also before Vanderbilt and before this game, where Alabama has struggled is that defensively they've not played well against mobile quarterbacks. This also was an issue last year. And they also have not done a good job just overall preventing big splash plays in the run game. And they played exactly the way that they needed to in those 2 areas. Prabula, who was one of the most accurate and consistent quarterbacks as a thrower and then dominant as a runner, held to 61 yards. Ahmad Hardy, 52 yards in this game. Them being able to do that shows that they're improving. And I said this a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to keep saying it. Teams are allowed to get better. The first month of the season is not the decider. October is the decider. So what we get over the next couple of weeks will tell us and fill the narratives on which teams are actually legit or not.
Yeah, and listen, we talked about last week and going into the game for Alabama about, hey, man, I for the first time, I finally felt like that they had played a full game. Well, Blake, it's against Vanderbilt. You're right. But they found a way, and they started playing more complimentary football. Joe, again, the score is 27-24. And you could look at this game, and I would hear an argument for this. Not that I agree with it, because I don't. But Missouri also shot themselves in the foot. In the fourth quarter, Bo Prabula threw an interception. You had a turnover on downs, and then you had an interception to end the game. You had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. That's not going to win you anything. So I look at this Missouri team. Look, you battled. You were very tough. But anytime that you're down 3 points and you're trying to take a lead, and let's call it what it is, get a massive signature win if you're Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri, you can't turn the ball over. You can't. You're going for it on fourth down. You're pressing too much. And quite honestly, you got away from the style of football that you played. Joe, they literally didn't have an answer for the read option with Bo Prabula. They couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it on the first drive. They couldn't stop it on the touchdown drive that you had. So now what? Why did you go away from it? But Alabama continues to find a way because they keep making big plays. The interceptions, the turnover on downs, and the pressure by LT Overton, which I got to give you a lot of credit here, which actually, no, I'm just going to act like I said it. But LT Overton, the amount of disruptiveness that he's caused the last 3 weeks is not going unnoticed. The offense couldn't put the game away, so the defense was able to find a way to continue to get turnovers and put it away for them.
That's why ultimately I'm kind of more bought in on this Alabama team, is that they're finding new ways to win. Their defense is playing a lot better. This was, as we talked about, one of their biggest challenges, more of a challenge than the Vanderbilt game. Missouri was a more legit threat than Vanderbilt was, and they stepped up on the road. So I'm willing to back this Alabama team, Blake, unless they give me a reason to struggle. They're another team that's got a pretty solid upcoming stretch where they can really establish some momentum. Weekend. They got a couple of tough games, though, man. You got Tennessee, you got South Carolina, you got LSU, and you've got Oklahoma. So we got to see how they do in that final stretch. They really are only afforded one mess up.
Well, a lot of these games start becoming at home. You got LSU at home, you got Tennessee at home, you got Oklahoma at home. So now you get home, and Joe, you asked the question, like you said, they've been very solid at home, even under Kalen DeBoer. A couple of things before we switch gears here. Number one, give 74 the football more. Everybody seems to enjoy it. It's really
I can't wait till they're moving him to different things each time, and I just want him to run a fade, man. I just want to see him run a fade route. Someone needs to do it.
He's got to keep his feet. If he wouldn't have jumped, he would have scored.
It was one of the shortest jumps.
Oh, my man's vertical's not that high. But listen, I felt like even though it's a 3-point game, in Missouri and defensively, look, I think Missouri's a contender, and I say contender meaning playoff. I think if they continue to win, they can find a way to sneak their way in there. Their defense is going to get them there. They're really good there. Their front seven's really freaking good. However, Joe, Alabama had the ball for damn near 39 minutes in this game of time of possession, and it's kind of like the Nebraska-Michigan game in a lot of ways. I felt like a team got dominated, and we're just not talking about it, right? And because it's a 3-point game, it's like I felt like Alabama had a little bit more domination than what the final score moves forward. Got to stay with the run game if you're Missouri. The three-headed monster, Pabula, Hardy, and Roberts. You can't let him sit in the pocket, and that's what basically Bama made him do. All right, we see the Super Chats coming in at the end of the show here. We'll get to them here.